A simple anti-dandruff shampoo you can buy on Amazon might be one of the most underrated treatments for hair loss. But most people are using it completely wrong. And here's the part that nobody tells you. It works remarkably well for some people and almost not at all for others. In this video, I will explain exactly why and what the real before and after photos actually prove. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Al. I started losing my hair at 20 and I've spent years digging through the scientific literature so you don't have to. The ingredient we are talking about today is Ketoconazole. It's the active ingredient in many anti-dandruff shampoos. And in this video, we're going to answer 3 questions. Why it works, who it's most likely to work for, and what we can learn from real before and after photos, because there's an important catch that completely changes how you should interpret them. So why would an anti-dandruff shampoo help with male pattern baldness? Well, it all starts with your scalp. Dandruff, redness, and itching are all common symptoms of a condition called seborrheic dermatitis. It sounds more serious than it is. In reality, it's simply a chronic inflammatory condition of the scalp that's extremely common. What you probably didn't know is that one study found that around 60% of men with male pattern baldness also had some degree of seborrheic dermatitis. Why does that matter? Because chronic scalp inflammation is associated with worse hair loss. An inflamed scalp creates a less favorable environment for healthy hair growth, even if you are already using proven treatments like Minoxidil or finasteride. In fact, some studies suggest that men with scalp inflammation may respond less effectively to Minoxidil than those with healthier scalps. Take this guy. 6 months and look at the difference. Now remember his case, Minoxidil plus Ketoconazole, but no finasteride. Keep that in mind because it will become important later. So how exactly does Ketoconazole help? There are 3 main reasons. First, it's antifungal. More specifically, it reduces the growth of a naturally occurring yeast called Malassezia, which is strongly associated with seborrheic dermatitis. Less Malassezia generally means less irritation and a healthier scalp. Second, Ketoconazole also has anti-inflammatory properties that go beyond simply reducing the yeast. By calming inflammation, it creates a healthier environment for hair follicles and may reduce inflammatory signals that contribute to hair shedding. And third, this is the most interesting one, Ketoconazole may also have a local anti-androgen effect. You have probably heard me talk about DHT before. It's the main hormone responsible for shrinking hair follicles in genetically susceptible men, eventually leading to male pattern baldness. Some researchers believe Ketoconazole may reduce DHT activity locally within the scalp. Now, to be completely transparent, this last mechanism is considered a hypothesis. The evidence for a direct anti-DHT effect in humans is limited, so it isn't yet regarded as an established fact. But it's certainly an interesting possibility and one researchers continue to investigate. So, does Ketoconazole actually regrow hair? Yes, but with an important caveat. Its effect appears to be relatively modest, and the available studies are fairly small. This isn't a replacement for finasteride or Minoxidil. Instead, the evidence suggests it works best as an adjunct treatment, something that complements other therapies rather than replacing them. One study illustrates this particularly well. Researchers compared different treatment combinations over the course of a year. As expected, combining finasteride with Minoxidil produced the strongest result. Other combinations also improved hair growth, including regimens that incorporated Ketoconazole, suggesting that it may provide an additional benefit when used alongside established treatments rather than on its own. And that brings me to one of the biggest misconceptions you will find online. Take a look at this transformation. Pretty incredible, right? And it happened in only 2 years. But now read the caption. This man wasn't using Ketoconazole alone. He was using finasteride, Minoxidil, and Ketoconazole together. So how much of those results come from the shampoo? The honest answer is We don't know. Most of the improvement was likely driven by finasteride and minoxidil, while ketoconazole may have provided an additional boost. That is why you should always be skeptical when someone posts a dramatic before and after photo and credits only the shampoo. In most cases, you are only seeing part of the real story. So, if you want to give ketoconazole a try, how should you actually use it? You basically have two options. Option 1 is the shampoo. And for most people, this is the option I would recommend. Use it 2 to 4 times per week. Massage it into your scalp, leave it on for 3 to 5 minutes, and then rinse it out. That's really all there is to it. If possible, try to get the 2% ketoconazole formulation, since that's the concentration used in most of the studies investigating its effect on hair growth. The 1% shampoos may still help with dandruff, but the best evidence for hair loss is with the 2% version. One thing to keep in mind is that ketoconazole shampoos can be quite drying. They remove not only excess oil, but also some of the natural oils that keep your hair soft and manageable. So if your hair starts feeling dry or brittle, simply use a conditioner afterwards. Your hair will thank you. Option 2 is to leave on a topical formulation. Instead of washing it off after a few minutes, you apply it and leave it on the scalp for several hours before rinsing it out. The idea is to increase the contact time with the scalp, which could potentially enhance any local anti-androgen effects, although this hasn't been demonstrated conclusively in humans. These formulations are also much less studied than the shampoo and are generally prescription only in many countries. Let's look at one more example. This is a 25-year-old after 1 year of treatment. That's a strong result. Once again, look at what he was actually using: finasteride, minoxidil and ketoconazole together. Do you notice the pattern across all of these examples? None of the people used ketoconazole by itself and experienced a miracle transformation. It was always part of a broader treatment strategy. And I think that's the most important takeaway from this video. Ketoconazole is a very solid supporting treatment. It helps control seborrheic dermatitis, reduces scalp inflammation, and may even have a mild local anti-androgen effect. Most importantly, it may help create a healthier scalp environment where your other treatments can perform at their best. But it's the supporting actor, not the lead. If you are serious about treating male pattern hair loss, I would prioritize the treatments with the strongest scientific evidence first: finasteride, minoxidil and microneedling. If you want to maximize your results even further, microneedling is another excellent addition. And once you have built that foundation, ketoconazole is a very reasonable treatment to add, especially if you struggle with dandruff, itching and scalp irritation. I will leave links to the products I personally use and recommend in the description below. And now I would like to hear from you. Have you ever tried ketoconazole? Did it help with your hair, your dandruff or both? Are you thinking about adding it to your routine? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I wish you a happy hair journey. Bye.